And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 55 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I am your host, Nate. This is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. Like, share, follow, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all the casts.
All the things.
And as well, if you are enjoying the podcast, hearing our stories every week, any support is greatly appreciated. We always love some virtual beers down here in old Mexico. So you can support the podcast by going to buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. And you can buy some virtual beers on there.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
That we will turn into real beers.
Exactly. For instance, Luis from Panama, who came and visited us. Well, he was technically visiting Mexico, but we got together with him. Yeah. He's been a diehard since the radio station days in Atlanta, and he bought us 2 beers just to thank us for showing us around, or showing him around and his friends. So it was good to have him in town.
Yeah, it was great. Great to hear their travel stories, and his friends were so nice, and of course Luis is so nice, but everybody, we had a good time with them. Like, just for meeting this group of people our first time, we had fun.
Yeah, so we always enjoy meeting up with listeners and diehards and 2%ers and anybody that comes down. If it works out, like some people will come down, but they're kind of far away from us, where like even Luis, he was in Cancun with his friends for his friend's birthday. And they rented a car, luckily, so they drove down and we got to meet up with them, which is kind of funny because that's the beginning of our episode. One of our first stories is going to be trying to meet up with them. So the plan was they were going to come down for the soccer game from Cancun,
soccer match,
and it was maybe like the second or third to their last day. And I tried to let them know, I'm like, this isn't like, he's coming from another, Latin American country. And I was like, I don't know how the games are there, but this is a very like not minor league, but it's not
pro,
not these massive Well, it's pro, but they don't. I think, but they don't have these massive stadiums. So I was like, just want you to be aware. We just like going because you can bring your own beer and drinks and food, and it's free to get in.
It's right
and
by the house.
It's super close to us. Yeah. So he messages and says, "Hey, we're gonna go to Chichen Itza, and then we'll meet you for the soccer game." And I was like, I'm sure you've looked it up, but just to let you know, Chichen Itza is 3.5 hours from Cancun, which is, and it's about the same distance from Chichen Itza to Playa del Carmen. So I was like, let's say you just spend an hour or 2 there.
Yeah.
You're looking at an 8-9 hour travel day, so which is fine. But I was like, the game starts at 6 o'clock. We usually kind of pregame at 5. And so you're going to have to leave super early or, come straight here or, from Chichen Itza. And he's like,
go to a different ruin or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Gave him some options.
But, it's a solstice, or it was the solstice, right? Or equinox? Solstice. Equinox.
It's the...
I can't remember. I always forget these.
Well, the summer solstice is coming. The solar eclipse.
Yeah.
So this was like the spring equinox.
Yeah,
then?
Was it vernal? Is that it?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm no Neil deGrasse Tyson. I do enjoy space, so I should have been paying attention to this. But anyway, so that it was a big thing out in Chichen Itza, so I totally get seeing that. But I was worried they weren't going to make it back in time because it's 5 o'clock. That means, or 6 o'clock is the game or whatever. And so he's keeping me updated, and for a portion of the time you lose service because you're in the fucking Yucatan. You're driving out into the jungle.
Right.
So you don't have great cell phone service. And I can't remember when it was, like 4. I think they got there at like 4 or something like that.
That was the thing too. We were at the beach and we're thinking they already got up. They've already gotten there. All these things. We haven't heard from them. And you heard from them at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or noon.
Yeah,
or something
they were just
like
leaving.
That. We're just leaving now. We're like, oh, what? Now you're really not making it.
Yeah.
We're really concerned.
Yeah. So, and he's like, we're not going to make the game, but maybe we can just, get together and have some dinner, some tacos or something like that. If you can find like a good Mexican restaurant.
Totally cool.
And I said, sure. And so we're at the game still, and I'm conversing with him, and they're driving back. And then I hadn't heard from him for a while. And then I hear from him again, and he's like, yeah, we ran into some issues. We're at the toll booth right now because there's tolls going out there into the jungle and coming back because they put in this nice new highway.
Yes, it is very nice.
And he's like, we don't have enough money to pay for the toll, so we're trying to figure that out and everything because, you have to have cash. They don't take credit cards or anything like that. And he finally gets back to Playa, just him and his friends, just as we're leaving. Like, literally, we walk right by them.
Yeah.
Right outside the stadium.
They literally parked. They just parked there.
And they tell us they got shaken down by the policia. It's like, fuck.
One of those little, like, road kind of
checkpoints.
stuff. Yeah, checkpoints.
Yeah, they have these little checkpoints that you don't usually have to stop. You just slow down, and they just want to make sure, I don't know, you're not smuggling 20 kids in your trunk or something.
Dealing drugs, smuggling drugs or kids.
Yeah. But I don't know if they were profiled or not. I mean, they all speak Spanish and everything. So, but they're from Panama, and I didn't know this. He actually enlightened me to this, but their currency there basically is U.S. dollars.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know
We're sorry.
Yeah. So I don't know if they know that they would be carrying USD or something like that when the checkpoint, when they told them that they were from Panama. But the guys in the back seat, I guess, didn't have their seatbelt on, which that's not.
That's why they pulled them over?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what, he said, oh, like, we're going to have to keep your license. That's what they'll do. They'll either keep your license or your license plate to ensure you come back the next day. Or we can take care of it right here, you know, that kind of thing. So they were trying to get it to like $200 out of him for the seatbelt, which I don't even know if that's a law or not. But you see like a whole family riding a scooter down the street with a ladder and a goat on the back.
Yes.
So I don't know how hard they are about the seatbelt rule.
Or you see a bunch of guys in pickup trucks sitting in the back, like flatbed trucks, every single day. They don't have seatbelts on. That was a lie.
No, exactly.
I don't think you have to wear seatbelts at all here in Mexico.
Yeah, I do not know for sure, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty laxed about the back seat at least.
Yeah.
So that was definitely kind of not a scam, but they were trying to get money out of them. So I think they ended up getting like $85, which sucks. I mean, at least it wasn't 200.
Yeah.
But it's one of those situations like I had with, my weed pen and stuff. Is like you don't know how much you could push back.
Yeah.
Because
do you really want to?
Yeah, because I mean, I've heard stories where if you stand your ground and push back and say no, that's not the law here. Right. I know, or kind of call them out. Some of them will back off because, they don't want to get in trouble themselves. Right. So the best thing to do is, try to negotiate and pay what you can or whatever.
Get out of there.
But there's different things you can do. So a couple tips I've heard. We haven't had a lot of interactions with the police, but some of the things that I've heard is typically, you don't really get hassled unless, something on the road like that. But if you're just walking around Playa or whatever, don't be outside. Don't be out late at night, like 2, 3 a.m. by yourself or with one other person being intoxicated because they spot you. Mm-hmm. They'll come over. What are you doing out so late? And, if you're drunk, you're kind of nervous. You're in another country and they'll, let me check your wallet. They'll slide the cash out of your wallet, give it back to you or whatever. Yeah. So some of the things I've heard to do in those situations is start recording, but go Facebook Live.
Yep.
And because people will say, oh, well, isn't that going to piss them off if you're recording? Maybe. And they could try to delete it because I've heard that too. Say, delete that video. But you go Facebook Live and you say, hey, and then you have to tell them, hey, just to let you know, I am live on Facebook right now, just for my own safety. Yeah. And then they get very professional after that.
I'm sure.
Apparently,
anybody would.
Because they know that it's out there. There's nothing, they can't delete it or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I guess if they knew how to do it in your Facebook or whatever, but other people are watching it. So they don't want to be on film extorting someone.
Right.
I heard something similar with driving is you, when they try to do that, you ask for a ticket. You say, no, I'd like a written ticket. Mm-hmm. And they won't write you a written ticket because what they're doing is illegal. I mean, number one, because that's not how much the ticket would be or whatever. And I've heard if you ask for a written ticket, they will either drop it or they might, drop the amount that they want you to pay or something like that.
Okay,
so
how 60. Okay.
Yeah. So always, and then another thing is like always carry maybe your money, try to hide it somewhere. I don't know if you can hide it in your wallet or on your person somehow. Yeah. But then keep like a little bit out, maybe like a 20 or something, just so you can kind of like
don't keep all your money right in your front pocket. Maybe just a 20 or so.
Yeah.
Up there.
I mean, it sucks. It happens. It doesn't happen a ton, but
happens.
It's just something you got to be aware of, and it's It is what it is.
Yeah.
So, sorry, guys. I'm sorry that happened to you.
I'm glad they only had $80 on them. It sucks that they took, but that was all their money they said they had on them.
Yeah. So but that's what I was saying. Like in that situation, you could have said, they could have said, well, I'd like a written ticket.
Yeah.
But you don't know, are they going to back down then?
Yeah.
Or are they going to get irritated and, whatever.
Especially you're on the freeway. It's nighttime. It was dark by then. I probably wouldn't mess around. I'd be like, here's my money.
Yeah.
Bye.
So what else did we do with them? Oh, we took them by the Dick Waffle place. They really enjoyed that.
They love the Dick waffles. They got some Dick popsicles, actually.
Yeah.
It was a little hot that day. Or Dick ice cream.
Yep. We went and got some tacos at El Fogón. And
they loved El Fogón.
Yeah,
oh, my
it
God.
was really, it's always good.
They were starving from not eating at Chichen Itza all day, and that was the first place. They were like, we want some good local Mexican food, and that's like the best place we knew to take them, like quickly and close, because they had to go, back to Cancun, but it's so good.
And then we went to Zenzi. It's a place on the beach, and they had one of these things. I haven't seen these in years, but it's like this box, and it has like I don't know what it is, like a car battery, some kind of battery
Probably.
in it. And they have these two cables coming out, and then these two little metal like handles, I guess, and you hang on to them, and so it's a tip thing, it's like a guy coming around with a flower he's trying to sell your girlfriend or whatever. So you can either hold both of them, or you all in a group hold hands, and they start running this electrical kind of shock through you, and you see how long you can hang on to the hands. So you did it, right? You were involved in the circle.
I was. I was between, I think, you and one of the girls, I believe, but you could feel it, like, ouch. I could feel it in my wrists. Me and the girl were both grabbing our same spots, like in the middle of our wrist, not even our hand. But that thing is so weird.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And it's funny that they still do that, because I remember when me and my family used to come to Playa del Carmen, and it was like 99 or something like that. I was in high school, and me and my brother went to this bar called the Beer Bucket, and you get a bucket of beer for like, I think it was like $5. And there was a railing that we would like just kind of post up on, and it would overlook Fifth. It was on the second level of the building. And there was a spider with this like fishing wire or fishing line in the tree, and we would drop the spider on people.
Oh gosh.
But that was like our spot. And I just remember, like, this is like kind of one of the first times I'd like been like drunk on vacation or whatever. And it's me and my brother, and we're drinking beers, because I'm like 17 at the time, and he's probably 15 or something.
Not even legal in Mexico.
Yeah, I know. Well, then they don't really ID you here because, who's carrying their wallet around in their swimsuit or something.
Right.
So this guy comes in and has one of those machines, and everybody's trying to do it like just themselves. And he turns it up, and like people are like, and drop it. And I'm like 17 and drunk at the time. And I just remember sitting in this bar, and there's this big circle of people around me. And what was it like? I think it was Eye of the Tiger or something like that came on.
Rocky song.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I grab them both, and he's like turning up, and is like getting a little bit like, I feel the shock, and it goes up to 10, I believe. And I'm at like 6, and I'm still doing it. And I get up to like 7, and people are like, yeah, do it.
Oh my God.
And I get all the way up to 10, and it's the electricity's running through my arms so much that I can't hold my wrists up straight. They start drooping just because I don't know, the electricity is just like affecting my tendons or something. And they just go like that. And I'm still holding on to it. And he gets it up to 10. And the whole bar is like, yeah.
Oh my God.
And then like Eye of the Tiger's playing in the background. And I was like, fuck yeah. It was like the best time of my life at the time.
Oh my God. At the time.
Yeah.
Is that like, what's the payoff for this? Why am I paying this person to electrocute me? Is it supposed to give me energy? Is it just cool?
No, it's just like
weird?
it's just like a test kind of thing. It's the same thing as those punching bag machines in bars and whatever. It's just to see how manly you are, I guess. I don't know.
It's like it's doing more harm than good. It's like he's like a taser. He's tasering you until you're like, meh.
Oh yeah. But I want to know who's the first guy to think of this. Like, guys, hear me out. Let's get a car battery and electrocute tourists for money.
Oh yeah.
No, swear it'll work. And fuck, it did.
The little box he has reminds me of like kind of an old carnival or a fair that you would go to. Like, remember the guy in the window with the like the fortune teller guy, and you put the quarters in, he'd tell your fortune, and then there'd be an electroshock thing that you would either stand on or grab. Like, it's one of those things, but now it's mobile somehow in Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. But
so weird.
Yeah, so let's see. That was so we had a good time with them. Thank you for coming and visiting us.
Yes, thank you so much. We had so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
We needed more time. We only had a night.
And now I want to go to Panama.
Yes, they invited us to Panama. I think that might be a next trip.
Yeah, it would be a good time. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah. And then let's see, what else did we do this past weekend? Our friend Marlos, it was her birthday.
Yes, feliz cumpleaños, Mary Lou.
Yeah, and she's from the Netherlands, or she's Dutch, and so her parents were actually in town for like 2 weeks.
Finally get to meet him.
Yeah, finally got to meet him. So she threw a little barbecue over at her house, and my dad has already gone back, and so my mom came along with, and it was great because my mom loves meat, know, Midwestern girl, and my dad, is pescatarian, so she doesn't always get the steaks and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're like, it's gonna be a lot of meat.
Yeah, so
grilling and all that.
Yeah, and we go over there, and we're just sitting outside. They have like a little like community palapa right by the pool, and we have all this meat and food, and I made buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah, lots of sides this time.
And then Mary Lou wants me to roll a joint. So I roll a joint, and we're sitting there smoking the joint. And first of all, some other like neighbors showed up, and this guy was French, and her parents speak French also, just like she does. Yeah. And so they were talking. So I don't really know what they were talking about. But then she takes some of the weed out and gives it to him. And what does he do with it?
The whole bag.
Oh, the whole bag.
She was like, hey, check this stuff out I just got. Smell it. And he goes, oh, smells really good. And then we're all just talking. Dude starts putting his hand in the bag, eating it like it's popcorn. I was like,
eating the weed.
I'm looking. Nobody's paying attention. I'm hitting you like, this guy's eating weed from the bag. Like, he was just like, tasty, and then handed it back. I'm like, he just ate your weed. Like,
what the hell?
I don't know how much, but it wasn't like a little smidge. He grabbed like a nug and like ate it. I was like, that's not what you do, dude. But maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. So
like
so that was
edible?
fucking weird. And we're sitting around this table with everybody, and our friend Wanda, who's from Canada, and her boyfriend Carlos is from here in Mexico, and he was getting a little tipsy. I mean, we were all drinking.
I
don't know if he was high, but he was like, no, I'm done, because I was trying to pass it to him, and then he was talking to somebody next to him, and we were all talking about him, and so I started blowing weed in his ear, kind of like a dog.
Yes. And he was doing like the tiger. He turned around and started going, like grabbing it. It was because Wanda was like, don't give him any more. He's done. And you're like, like blowing it out.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? But I had this high thought when we were sitting out there. Okay, I don't know how we got on the topic of this. I think we were talking about owls for some reason, and then we got on the subject of eagles, and then we started talking about how the eagle is the national bird of the United States. And we were talking about, or I brought up this like random fact that and hopefully I'm right about this, but Ben Franklin wanted the national bird of the United States to be a turkey.
A turkey.
And I'm pretty sure that's true. But
we should have looked it up before.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm pretty sure that's true. But I was thinking about it. How would Thanksgiving work at that point?
Ooh.
Because if it would have been the national bird,
right,
we wouldn't have been able to have turkeys for Thanksgiving, I would assume, because you can't just you can't eat the bird of your country.
Yeah, I guess so.
So,
I mean, yeah.
I guess we'd all be eating chicken or something.
We'd probably be
like we
chicken.
do here in Mexico. We get the little rotisserie chickens
the
for
little rotisserie.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, all the turkeys would have been pardoned if that would have been. Could you imagine? That seems like a more appropriate American bird for America.
Yeah, the
or
turkey.
National bird for America. We're just a bunch of turkeys.
Yep. Yeah, fat and happy. Let's see what else. And my mom was going to Tulum with our neighbor Sydney.
Yeah, she's getting ready to leave, so she wanted to go on like a shopping trip. And our neighbor Sydney.
Yeah, because when we were there watching Tom's place, she found some shop that she wanted to go to.
Yeah.
So they wanted to go down there and go shopping. So they're going to take the bus. Bus station's like 15, 20 minutes from here. So they take off and they go on the walk, and then you and I I don't know where we were doing.
We were watching Cheyenne for the day. It was like a working day. We had like podcast stuff to do and editing and things like that.
Yeah.
So we stayed home.
Yeah. So, but then we were getting ready to go take her for a walk, and we walk out the door and we look at my parents' apartment next door, and the key is in the door.
Oh no.
And hanging from the chain is her wallet with all of her cards, cash, ID, everything in it.
Everything. We're like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
So I grab it and I say to you, I was like, message her, tell her what's going on.
Yep.
I'm going.
Yep.
So I run down the stairs, run down the street, and then we have that bike.
The BC Playa.
Yeah, the subscription bikes,
Yep.
that you can pick up and leave at different places. So I like scan it with my phone, jump on the bike, and I'm pedaling down, and I pedal all the way down and I get to the bus stop like 5 minutes before the bus is supposed to leave, and she runs out, comes and grabs the thing. So I got it to her.
Yay.
But God, can you imagine if she rode the bus an hour away and didn't have any money to go shopping? No money, no cards, no nothing.
I'm sure Sydney would have covered her, but you know how like when you forget things and your friends are like, oh, don't worry, I'll cover you, can pay me back. And you're like, yeah, but if I had my own money, I probably would have shopped a little different or more or less or so. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was awesome that you got it to her. Both of them were really happy.
Yeah. And another thing I was just thinking about that is weird is our tree, our big, beautiful tree that we love that kind of like gives the street shade and everything.
Yeah.
Last year, we thought that somebody had poisoned the tree because all the leaves fell off. And
we thought they were trying to get rid of it because there was a fire at one point around it, and they said they were just burning the leaves, like the dry leaves around the tree. That was, I think, the year before, so we were already suspicious. And then when that happened, we were really like, who's trying to kill this big, beautiful tree in our neighborhood?
Yeah. So the leaves, and it's weird, the leaves all fall off in like one day.
Yeah.
It's not like, I don't know, I feel like
fall.
fall.
48 hours.
Yeah, but don't you feel like fall in the U.S. is like, it takes a while, like it's, over the course of a week or something that they fall off. Sure. So it's weird. But also, it is not fall. It is spring.
It's spring.
So I don't understand why our tree in Mexico, the tree doesn't even die. It's just the leaf falls off. And there's still leaves on it, like alive leaves. It's not like, but just, it's like it molts or something.
Yeah, that's what it does in its spring. It gets rid of all the old leaves from the rest of the year, and it'll be huge. It'll be even bigger when all those leaves come back.
This is probably is a stupid question, but why do the leaves fall off the trees?
I don't know. It's their cycle.
Is it, they just can't survive with them in the winter or something?
It's probably like how we shed like skin cells and hair and things like that. They have to shed eventually and then they regrow.
Yeah, but there's like the palm trees don't, the palm fronds and stuff will fall off, but it's not like a fall where they all fall off at once and they're bare for, whatever. So it must be something to do with winter, I would think.
Yeah. And here too, I feel like we had some pretty cool weather up until now. And then the heat came back. There was no like real humidity. It was still warm out, but the humidity just came back and like hit us all last weekend. We were like, oh my God, I'm so tired from the heat. I feel like that heat snap comes back, kills all the leaves on the tree, and then it has to grow back. It's just like something that it does.
Something that happens.
Yeah. Like it's too hot. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, and then let's see. I think the last thing we did this week, my mom just left on yesterday. Yep. And so Tuesday we decided to go to Xcaret because we needed to renew our year passes. And she needed to just get a ticket because she wanted to come. And we get her 10% off if she comes with us.
For sure. We've taken them before. We took your whole family on Christmas our first year, but she's been wanting to go back. She really enjoyed it. So, and we were like, we love it. Let's go.
Yeah. So this day we go to the park and it's cloudy, but she was leaving soon, so we had to go that day. Little cool out, so we're like, great. We were planning on going and sitting by the water and stuff, but it was a little, too cool. So we're like, okay, we'll walk around first and then go sit by the water. Yeah. And we decided to go over to the Jaguar and the Cougars.
Yeah.
And we hadn't seen the Cougars for a while, and we get there because they were, I don't know if they like loaned them out to another facility or if they were breeding them or whatever.
Yeah, we haven't seen them in a minute.
Yeah. We walk over to the Cougar enclosure, and there are two in there, and one, they're in the bushes, and the bushes are kind of shaking, and one is like trying to kind of get on the other one. And I'm filming it. I'm just fucking filming it. And this lady with her kids behind us goes, "Are they?" And I go, "Yup." And she goes, "Oh, the circle of life." Something like that.
I loved all the parents there because that was like the first thing you see when you walk in the enclosure. All the parents were like, "Well, it's the birds and the bees, about to have the birds and the bees talk. Like all of them felt uncomfortable with their kids.
So we're watching them, and the one is on top of the other one, obviously, and he's like he's trying to get up, this like icy hill or whatever. And I was like, it must be his first time. He's like trying to mount. And then so they're doing the action back in the bushes, they're shaking or whatever. And then afterwards we go around the other side of the enclosure, and they're both just like napping. I swear one was smoking a cigarette. They're just like after sex nap. But then the female gets up and tries to walk away, and the male gets up and starts like going after her because I think he's mad that he's like, what, you leaving already?
Where you going?
No kiss goodbye? What do I mean to you? Apparently nothing.
Are you sure it wasn't the other way around? She's like, you don't want to come snuggle with me?
Yeah, could be. And so then we go over to the howler monkey enclosure, and we actually haven't seen them for a while either. They're usually like hiding, but I think since it's cooler out, all the animals are coming out. And the howler monkey's on this branch and gets up and starts walking away. And this guy has like some truck nuts on the back. It's just, they are hanging down, and they're not furry or anything. They look like people nuts.
They do. They're like black fuzzy monkeys, and they look like white dude balls or something. It was so weird. And I love that your mom pointed it out first. She was like, what is that? We're like, oh God.
Yeah. And of course there's another guy with his kids behind us.
Yep.
And the howler monkey's sitting on a branch, and his balls are just hanging down under the branch. And I'm like,
air conditioning.
The kids at this park are going to grow up real fast.
Real quick. That's why they brought them there.
Yeah. Oh shoot. And then we go over to the spider monkeys, and the little guy is sitting there in front of all of us. And then people,
so cute.
All of a sudden he pops up and runs around and starts doing this whole routine. He goes up the tree and he's like swinging out, and then he goes across the little rope thing, then comes back around and is like, wee! Yay. And he does this big jump onto the ground and comes back around and then sits there like,
we're all like, yay!
You see what I just did? You see that? And everybody's clapping and laughing and stuff.
Like, good job, buddy.
And then so we're kind of egging him on, and he goes and does it again, and he does it a little. And then you said, "Oh, he's going to do the same routine."
Yep.
And while he was doing that, he changed the routine and did a little bit different. And then
he heard me,
but he still
like,
came back and he's like, "Wee!" And he comes back and he just runs and sits down.
He was so cute. It was
so
like
cute.
A little puppy playing or something. I loved it.
So definitely go to Xcaret when it is not as nice out, because all the animals come out, and so
you could make like a 2-day thing out of it. Like one day when it's sunny and do all the water activities and all that. And then another day when it's a little rainy or cloudy, and go see all the animals, because obviously they love to come out when it's not sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good day.
It was good. And we did get to go and sit by the water. I think we ate a gummy and took a nap for like 3 hours.
Yes, a little bit.
That was nice.
A couple hours.
Yes. All right. Well, let's see. What do we got going on this weekend? It is Easter.
Easter weekend.
I don't know what we're doing yet.
I'm not sure. Usually we just, we cook something or just hang out by the pool or do something easy, and probably something like that.
Really just relax, to be honest, because I love my parents to death, obviously, but having them next door for 2.5 months we could use some alone time.
We're ready for some alone time.
Yeah, so we might just stay inside.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh shoot. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and listening. Don't forget to support the podcast if you are enjoying what you're hearing. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. Also follow, like, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Remember, Spotify and YouTube are the ones where you can watch the actual videos. So if you're watching on something else and you're just hearing the audio and you want to watch the video, there you go. YouTube and Spotify.
You can look at our beautiful faces for 45 minutes.
Yes, and you just search at Hansons on hiatus, and it should all be right there.
Yep.
So everybody, hope you have a great, safe rest of your weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.